Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 30th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. A couple of quick clarifications. First off, the price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, JOBY. Did this one yesterday, and these lines, I'll go ahead and get rid of them. But at this point, it's really kind of difficult to talk about from a presentation standpoint because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean? Well, if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 15 minutes, well, then from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because, yes, there's no doubt about it today. There was a very deep pullback. But, and I'm not saying this will occur, if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, let's say the price actually drops even further and goes down to that $9 mark. Again, I'm not saying this will happen, but price comes down here to $9, behaves like that, and then starts to curl back up. What would you have? Again, emphasis here on big picture. Well, from the big picture, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have these lows. You know, you'd have a consolidation area there, that low right there, these lows down there. And if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, what do you have? Well, from a big picture, you'd still have overall stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. Again, I fully realize that if you're a day trader and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair-steps. So that's why I'm trying to distinguish between more of a day trader and a big picture point of view. So yes, individually today, not a good day at all, essentially a gap and trap. But if you do care about the bigger picture of things, the price does still have the chance to build it and put in a higher low. Next one, LCID. Very, very impressive move, and I still keep going back to it, but crazy to think that just a few days ago, I was thinking, all right, looking like game over, nasty gap and trap right there. And then from there, just has grinded and continues to grind. And first off, for those of you that did watch the video from yesterday, congratulations for anybody that bought that breakout point right there that I talked about via the red line, broke out from there, and has made a very nice move. And that's, you know, I'll get rid of that as it served its purpose for now. But as terms of new levels of resistance, always a good problem to have when you have to go and find new levels of resistance. And at this point, current level of resistance is going to be right here at these high. And I don't think the price, I don't think the price is above these, but let's double check. So this right here is at about 695. Yeah, so basically that's right where the price is hovering right now, is right around that red line, which again, just for illustration's point, is coming from right there. And what's interesting is that after that is, let me squeeze this down a bit more, is that if that level is broken, then all of a sudden you start to get into this gap territory and you have quite a bit of more space to run. Now, I'm not saying that if 695 is broken, it's running straight up to 735. I'm just trying to illustrate that. Technically speaking, you do kind of have this space within the chart, which could allow for continued momentum. So 695 becomes very interesting from that angle of things. And then as far as supports are concerned, if you prefer to play more so pullbacks, interesting level from a pullback standpoint right there at about $6.60. Next one here, MULN, very popular stock, and yeah, it's continued to get beat down, but now we have ourselves what I find to be an interesting technical pattern here. So let me just get this in play here. So we have our support part of the pattern right there, trend line. Let me change that to green to represent more of the support dynamic. And then the resistance side of things, we have that line right there, which has now created a falling wedge pattern, which is actually a bullish pattern. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean for sure the price is going to go up. But, you know, would it be shocking to see this thing potentially get a bit more of a bounce? I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. But we do have this falling wedge pattern, so it's really as straightforward as that. Is if you like penny stocks, you like falling wedge patterns, then I'd certainly keep an eye on it. Next, SPCE, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have, hopefully you remember me talking about that green line as support multiple times. And right here, the power of charts came down here, and wouldn't you know it, look right where the price is starting to go sideways, once again at that green line. And the past couple times it's been at that green line, there have been some nice little bounces here. Does that mean that a bounce for sure is going to happen? Again, of course not. There are no guarantees. But does that make it at least a plausible thought? Does it make it a rational thought that, hey, maybe, just maybe, history repeats itself again and you get a bounce? Yeah, that makes it a plausible thought, and that's what we're trying to do as traders. Because there are no guarantees, we're just trying to find edges. We're trying to find situations that are rational, and it is rational, at least in my opinion, that a bounce could happen here. But again, that doesn't mean it'll happen, which is why risk management matters. So moving forward, that $4.10 mark, very interesting level of support. If the price does bounce, key level of resistance going to be up there, that pink line there. 200 period moving average right now valid at, we'll just call it $4.55. Next one, AMC. Very nice move late day yesterday. In fact, the thing just continued to beast mode and beast mode. Got all the way up there to that pink line there before getting rejected back down. Opening 30 minutes today, quite rough. Had a gap down, and then, like I said, that big red candle bar there represents the opening 30 minutes. So the price came down quite a bit. With that being said, after that, slammed on the brakes, and from there, nice, good, solid upwards channel right here. So is recovering nicely, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and the big quote unquote work that needs to be done, all about that pink line, which is the 200 period moving average, and right now valued directly at 450. So if this current grind back upwards continues, don't get me wrong, that is a good thing. That's bullish to see it. That's a sign of strength. But the biggest sign of strength will be not necessarily breaking above that pink line, because right there the price broke above it, but more importantly, staying above it. So yes, nice recovery from the opening 30 minutes, but there's still more work that needs to be done. So let's see if the price can not only break above that 200 period moving average, but stay above it. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple things, maybe you're like me, you have a busy schedule, I have 5 kids, so I understand. So maybe you already have something on your schedule tonight, you can't make it. Maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you completely missed the event. Either way, it will be recorded, so if you'd like to watch a replay of it, then go ahead and send me an email, clay@clayjr.com, and I'd be happy to get you a link. All I ask is that a little patience, because again, the event is live, so it does first need to happen, but after it's done and I get it uploaded, I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. Or if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up. Next one here, TOP. Very, very nice move today. Good, solid pattern has formed. So you got to think a lot of people are watching this pattern, and the first bit that you got to think lots of people have done is just draw that very basic trend lines right there. And I like basic trend lines because when a lot of people are watching the same things and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And to me, like I said, a very simplistic one, but a trend line that you got to think a lot of people are watching. And then as far as supports, instead of drawing another trend line, let's just use that pink line there as a support. So I'll just go ahead and kind of cut this across, and we'll say that that is what that is representing. And then to keep this all the same color to make the pattern easier to see, we have our, well, that was it. We have our resistance. Now, that wasn't much better. We have our support. We have the big upwards move there. Let's put the golf hole down here to make it more visual. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible? Is it valid that if the price can come up here and get a break up through that top part of the pattern, that break in and of itself could create a good, solid additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible question to be thrown out there, and one that could very well play out. Next one, OSTK, has been in the news here quite a bit, and the market is very clearly liking the news. It was already liking things going on. I mean, there's a bull flag pattern, broke to the upside. Another bull flag pattern, broken to the upside. And we once again have another bull flag pattern. Does that mean that it once again break to the upside? Again, there are no guarantees, but going back to the plausibility, is it plausible? Is it rational to think that this thing could once again get a break to the upside? Absolutely. So on that note, let's get this pattern drawn in. In fact, it could potentially be knocking on the door here very soon. So we have that area of support. We have that area of, this area, I think I said it backwards. This area of resistance. We have this area of support. And then to keep it all one color, let's see if I can do my lines a little bit better. Oh, that's more respectable. Resistance, support, big upwards move there. Golf hole down here, so we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So the big question mark moving forward is, can history repeat itself once again like it did in those previous occurrences? Let's see how it closes out the week on Friday. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and a sloppy looking chart. Threw that pattern into play, and I mean, yeah, the bottom of the pattern actually played out very, very nicely. That green line there bounced, 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 and bounced again if I were to extend out that green line. But the red line of the pattern proved to be relatively worthless. You know what? In fact, so much so, I'm going to go ahead and just extend that green line out, because the chart, for whatever reason, is really, really respecting that green line there that I drew yesterday. So as far as support standpoint, I definitely keep a close eye on that trend line. And like I said, that was not my plan until just observing now. And yeah, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, very much so respected that level. So watch that in the near term, but not that far away. You also have the pink line there, which you now know is a 200 period moving average. You have the 50 period moving average down there. So even if this trend line right there, the green line, fails, there's still a lot of other supports below it. So it's not like that would be the end of the world. In terms of levels of resistance, the level here that really seems to have made itself known is right up here at the 259 mark. You can see right here, rejected the price, Temporary break, could not stay above it. Temporary break, could not stay above it, but then rejected it. So 259 has definitely become a very stubborn and annoying level of resistance. But, that'll be the two main levels, at least in my opinion, to keep an eye on for Friday. Next, MARA, and a nice looking chart here, especially when you factor in this afternoon. Things pulled back, but this was occurring in an overall uptrend, so things leveled out and is now starting to curl back upwards. Last 30 minutes here, as you're seeing, and this is why, like I said, like to do the market still open for a little bit of time. Good solid green candle. You look down here, volume coming in very respectably. So closing out the day very strong here, which now makes this that much more interesting moving forward. So in my opinion, key level of resistance watch going to be right there at 14. If the price can get up to 14 and more specifically get a good high volume break of that level, then again, no guarantees, but I don't think anybody would be shocked to see it go up to those highs, and not only that, break through those. But again, that's all going to depend on the strength of a $14 break if it happens. But that's why I point out volume, because volume picking up, which is good. And if that volume carries into Friday and can push up through there, then you got to like the chances that it goes up that much quicker and higher. So keep an eye on that dynamic. As far as levels of support are concerned, nothing fancy or complicated here. Continue to watch that purple line, 50-period moving average. It's been doing a good job of whenever the price has gotten even somewhat close to it, not even touching it. The price has reacted bullishly with it. So keep an eye on that. Right now, value at 13. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as the whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. And overall, a very interesting dynamic that you got to think a lot of people are watching. So once again, reintroducing that talking topic of self-fulfilling prophecies. But first off, from a resistance standpoint, nothing has changed here. Still all about that level up there, which wasn't even close to being tested. I suppose in the very near term, you could throw in another area of resistance right there, which is started to become a problem at the $39.60 mark. So I'll leave that in there, but just so we can differentiate a little bit, we'll make it look just a little bit different. So there we go. So keep an eye on that in the near term. But the level here that I think most people are going to be interested in my opinion, is this trend line right here. You got to think that everybody and their brother's uncle has drawn that trend line right there. Let me change that to green to represent the support. And you're going to have all sorts of people watching that level. You're going to have bearish people watching it, thinking, okay, the price comes down here and breaks below it, it is time to get short because this thing is going to keep on rolling over. You're going to have longs watching it saying, no, I think if it comes down here, it's going to bounce like it has before. Fair enough. Both of those people have valid trade plans, but that is why risk management is so important, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong, and that's the big question mark, again, in my opinion, moving forward. All about that trend line right there. What is going to happen at that trend line if it gets tested? And in my opinion, looking like it's got a good likelihood of being tested. But what happens when it gets tested? Like I said, an interesting level that nobody knows what will happen, but what a lot of people you got to think of is going to be watching that level, whether it's from a bullish or bearish stance, and you can once again start to get those self-fulfilling prophecies. But again, you could be wrong, so make sure you manage that risk if you do intend to build a trade plan around that level right there. But I mean, to be fair, maybe this thing just bounces and starts to crush these areas of resistance too. That's always possible, but in my opinion, that level just stands out so clear that you got to think there's going to be some self-fulfilling attributes that go along with it for Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for the free class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, June 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up. But for the reasons discussed already, if you can't make it live, then go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. But like I said earlier, just remember, it is a genuine live event, so it's first got to happen, then I got to get it uploaded, and then I'll be able to send you a link to the replay. But like I said, if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in a couple hours. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment, just say hi. Give me a smiley face emoji. I don't need anything elaborate, or just tell me what you traded today. Tell me what your watch list is for Friday. But those things help out the channel, help out these videos, and as long as I know people are enjoying, I'll continue to get these watch list videos out to you. So thanks for watching, take care, and go get signed up for that class or drop me an email.